Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the New Jersey Motorsports Park. I'm Jim Quinn. I've got two of my very special people with me. Former Senator Nick Aselta is on my left, and on my right is Mike Toscano, who is the Mr. Everything at the Mintz Insurance Agency. And I find out now, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak to him anymore, he's second vice president of the Chamber of Commerce.
That's
Congratulations.
right. Thank you.
That's great. I'll tell you what, Nick, the interesting thing is tonight, as you know, we're talking about the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Mayor Orndorf is here, and I gave her a check on my way in for the New Jersey Make-A-Wish Foundation. Mm-hmm. I do want to thank Yeltmas Kankel from the the Queen Restaurant. He made a donation, and I want to thank him for that. For doing that. And speaking of making donations, that's all you guys do.
Yeah, that's all we do.
God, that's amazing.
We would call them a little more sponsorships, but
well, that's true. And let me tell you something. Without Mike and Bob Connor and everybody there, we would not have half the programs we have on Channel 22. That's the truth. So, Mike, thank you. Thank the Mintz Agency for their cooperation. And have you brought your son out to the Motorsports Park for a party or anything?
Before COVID, we did there's it's kind of haunted hayride where we got to shoot paintballs at like targets and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was a great time.
Well, of course, Nick and I were talking about before we went on the air. Nick was the state senator and I was the mayor, and we were trying to woo getting the Motorsports Park here. Well, a motorsports park, a NASCAR track. Right. Tell everybody what we went through and where we got to go.
Yeah, well, we kept reading in the paper through an individual that grew up in Millville. Don Fauerbach was a point person on this, and they were looking to place it at the Atlantic City racetrack, the old racetrack where the Hamilton Mall sits now. And the casino industry kind of didn't want it. The legislators down there didn't want it close to the gaming industry, so we just raised our hand and said, we're a perfect spot. Cumberland County, we're rural. We're close to Delaware Memorial Bridge. We're close to Philadelphia. We're in a perfect, ideal spot to gain that racing fan coming all the way up in the region from Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. So we engaged Bruton Smith, who is the largest track owner in the country. He was on a mission to build new tracks around the country, and he entertained us in Texas. And I guess it was 1998 April. It was the second year the Texas Motorsports Park was open, the largest NASCAR track in America. And we spent the weekend and told him what we had. He did come here, sit down with us. We had a beautiful piece of property off of Route 49, but we ran into a problem with the France company. And anybody knows NASCAR, there's the track owners, and then there's the France company that owns the NASCAR label, the brand, and they create the dates in which you can race. So Dover, Delaware had 2 dates. Poconos had 2 dates. We needed to take a date from each site to make our site viable. We needed two particular races, and they were going to. The economic impact was like $100 million each race or something. So we followed that as far as we could go, and then we got somebody else interested in a lower level track, which wasn't NASCAR, but it was this. And this materialized through the help of Jim and. I believe Governor Corzine then was in office, and he helped clear the way also. At the point when we were negotiating with Bruton Smith, Christy Whitman was governor, and they were trying to place it way up at the Meadowlands. They had other spots interested in, and we said we have the best spot. So here we are tonight at a beautiful facility. It does its job. It services our region, and I think it turned out well.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's been 24 years since we went down. It was interesting. I'd never been to a NASCAR race, and to go down there, Mike, to Texas International Speedway. Wow, unbelievable. 100,000 plus people there. It was some facility. But speaking of facilities, you know what's really worked well here? You see the exotic car garages on your way in.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they just keep expanding.
That was the original plan, Jim. If you remember, that's how this place was really sold to make it financial, and now they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I have people that I talk to said, yeah, I got a car down there. I'm surprised. I got a little condo down there. I bring my car down there and race. We're just on the phone with American. He's been here. It's a regional situation here, and I think they've done a great job marketing it and getting everybody in the region to pay attention here. So listen, it turned out we didn't get NASCAR, but we got something on the next level, and it's working out well.
Yeah, it really has. And the other thing that's worked very well is the motorcycles come in. They're very popular. You know, they've been here, and that helps boost the crowd and the opportunities for the facility. And we're here tonight. Mayor Orndorf is behind the bar. He's a celebrity bartender. I saw Ben Romanek and his dad are both here. And if you can come down between now and 8 o'clock, have a drink. They got fabulous food. So a portion of the proceeds of what is purchased tonight goes to the New Jersey Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's what it's all about. So come on down. Mike's here, Nick's here, I'm here, and in the later part of the program, we're going to get anybody who is either a candidate, an elected official, and Nick's going to be able to speak with them about their upcoming election and those type of things. And Mike and I are going to I'll buy Mike a drink. So Nick can work and I can work, get your drink. Yeah.
Have fun.
So we'll
it's not work for me, Jim.
Well, it's great to have you back. In fact, it was interesting. I had a friend the other day. She was saying to me she watched the election coverage last year and it stunk. And I said, thank you. It was Tony Cerise and me, but he wasn't there. She said, all you Cerise did was reminisce about sports and stuff. I said, well, we couldn't get the numbers, and of course Nick knows all the political situation. So I'm begging him to come this year, see if we can get him there. This year maybe, right?
Possibility.
Yes, and maybe we could get somebody like Tory Lodes could feed us the information from the Republican headquarters.
Tease up with some of the, wherever the Democrats are, wherever the Republicans are, and we'll get them to communicate with us, because we're having such a hard time anymore getting vote totals. Years ago it was a lot easier because the parties then had people stationed at each of these communities at the polls, and we got the numbers real quick. That doesn't happen anymore. So.
And you also have the mail-in votes and the early voting. So,
early voting. That's right.
So you know where we vote.
Yes, we.
Because we're in the same neighborhood.
The Elks.
Yeah.
The First time at the Elks, right?
No.
Legion, American Legion. Yeah, sorry.
Right, yeah. In fact, the year before I did early voting, and that was at the Women's Club at Dublin. So, yeah, that's the nice thing. I will say they certainly have expanded the opportunities for you to vote. There's really no reason not to vote. You can do early voting, mail-in voting, or you can vote the day of the election. And,
made it very easy.
It really has. And it's interesting. I had Judge Johnson on with me the other day. We did a show, Hal Johnson. And in 1999, actually, Jimmy Sorrow will be on later on. Jimmy Sorrow, Hal Johnson, and Jeff Trout ran for county freeholder. And it was a monsoon.
1999, we swept.
Yep. Oh, that's right, you were.
Well, I think there was a blackout for about 1 hour towards the end of the evening, 6, 7 o'clock or something, right around dinner time. But a very bad thunderstorm. A lot of places in the county lost electricity. So the Democrats like to blame that.
Well,
I do the same.
But my point is, it's a very good point, is unfortunately, as things have swung to the right, to the Republican side, the Democrats don't vote. I mean, I remember going door to door, knocking on doors in areas, and the percentage of turnout was like 10%. And it's like, you don't vote. And to the Republicans' credit, they do vote, and that's why they've had good success. And to their credit, certainly they've done a good job this year. There's no tax increase, and they've taken over and done really well that way. So even this year, the way it's set up, the Republicans will keep control. They have control of the board down. They'll keep control even if the 3 Democrats sweep the positions. It'll still be Republican control. And you got the surrogate who's up this year. Doug Greer decided not to run. And Nick Acevedo is running on the Democratic ticket. And on the Republican ticket, of course, got Skip Luisi. who was a well-known undertaker.
Yeah, Louise from on Lincoln and Sherman.
Yes,
The big one.
And we have a sheriff race too.
Yeah, yes, Mike Donato, that's right.
Donato and Bob Alstino. So.
Bob's been sheriff almost 15 years now. Yeah, that's cool.
It seems like Vinelanders are always ex-Vineland police officers.
Yeah.
Always the sheriff.
Castellini, Baruzza.
The only one that
right.
was it Danny LaFerriere in there?
Yeah, he was a state
one
trooper.
time.
He lived in Millville. Yeah, right. Yes.
But most of the time, Castellini.
Yeah.
I go back to when I was a little boy. It was always Vineland.
Yeah.
Well, Vineland law enforcement has a very large force. They support each other.
Yeah. We'll be back with Nick Aselda, and Mike will be with us here for a while as well. So we'll be back right after these messages.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find Him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find Him. That's by personal experience with Him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to Him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics, experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Motorsports Park's Finish Line Pub. Jim Quinn along with Mike Toscano, and Mike is the man. You don't have a title, I guess, right? At Mintz, you're like everything.
Slash, remember.
But you know, one of the things I wanted Mike here for was talk about donation and supporting the community. Bob Connor, his staff, Mike, and everybody there, they do that. And in the commercial, you'll hear Bob say that's part of what they believe in doing. And they do that. They bring people whatever they can, and you help. And it's wonderful what you're able to do, Mike. And I know you've gotten involved this year with the youth football. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've played football growing up in Millville.
Yeah, Tony Story said you were pretty good football.
Yeah, I was
He said
all right.
you were tough.
They were tough on me. But no, I grew up in Millville, played midget league football. My son, Michael, finally decided that he wanted to play football. I didn't push him because it's not a sport you want to push a kid into. They've got to want it. So I was friends with a lot of the guys out there already. So I told them I was coming out there, and we've been through a couple of leagues, and it does seem like the Millville football, the Millville youth football, probably needs the help the most.
It's expensive for the equipment.
It's the equipment alone, and the equipment and the technology changes yearly because of all the concussions and all that stuff. So it's tough. It's, and we're not in the richest area either, so finding sponsorships and stuff is a little bit difficult. But we're gonna make it. They're turning these kids, they're giving kids opportunities. God, I think there's like 6 or 7 Division I scholarships on the high school football team this year. So it's doing something right. You're getting these kids an outlet.
Well, like it's a great feeder program. I mean, you look at the midget or the youth football league, Millville's number 1. Last 2 years, you have champions, and it's because we've got the feeder program from the kids coming from the youth football program in Millville.
And Coach Thomas did a good job of
he did.
Of bringing the relationship back to the midget football league, to the youth football, because there was a period of time from 2016 to like 20 is when we were losing a lot of our stars. We're starting for St. Augustine Prep. Yeah. And it seems like we're now keeping the home talent, and it's important because you're seeing what it,
unbelievable
produces. So,
Nick, have you seen any of the games?
Think about the change what you just made. Why do you think they're keeping them now and not going to the program? Because of
success, and the coaches are more involved into the youth programs, and the coaches are kind of intertwined now, so they work
relationships with the parents and the kids at much earlier.
Yeah, so the relationships between the youth football and the high school football, I don't want to say there was ever a problem, but it seems like it's well meshed now, and they're making it a point to. So, and we were having an event coming up in August, Little Bolts, Big Bolts, when the youth football and the high school football come together, and the high school kids will kind of run the show, and it's like a little training camp where the high school kids are showing the youth. So it's another way of presenting kind of a big brother type of family atmosphere. So they like, and I'm not sure of all the coaches' names, but I know Jeff Mills and Michelle, his wife, have been there for over 20 years. So he's the director, and I think Quan Boleg is the vice, and then Michelle. But then there was Ryan Barber, and I can't remember everybody's name, but they've done a great job of passing this program down. I think they had 6 teams last year, and all 6 of them made the playoffs, A and B. So, and I think they've won probably at least 3 of them. So.
What's interesting too, we've done some of the games, obviously. The number of people, when we go to Facebook, it's thousands of people who watch the midget football, or the youth football, not midget, youth football league. And like Millville plays Bridgeton, we had like 4,700 people watch the game. And that's something people care and are interested in, looking at the future stars for Bridgeton High, Millville High, Lyman High, wherever the kids are playing from. So it's
and I am purely amazed of the talent these little kids have. I mean, 5 and 6-year-olds throwing and catching. It's crazy. Like, I remember coaching our T-ball team, and sort of the same age range. And I'll tell you what, the speed and the agility, it's just amazing to watch. These kids this big.
Wow, that is amazing. Well,
future's bright for Millville football.
On the other side of things, Nick, baseball is like dying off. In Millville, we lost National Little League completely, and now I don't know what the American League's down to in teams, but what happened, and I saw it when I was doing girls softball years ago, you get the traveling team. So the traveling team kills the league because the kids want to be on a traveling team instead of in the league. So we have less kids playing baseball in Millville now than we probably did when I played we had American Little League and National Little League. Now we only have one Little League.
Yeah, 6 teams on each side.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's 12 teams. Yeah.
Little League, Farm League, and
yes.
So
you have T-ball league.
Yeah.
We do have one young freshman that is going to be really good. His father is Dallas Preston.
Oh, yeah.
He played for basketball. Yeah. This kid is a stud. He's like plays every position. He's hitting like 700 on the freshman team. Wow. He's like got a baseball body. I know the family real well. I coached the grandfather in junior college back in the 70s. Right, they're big people, 6'5". You know, Dallas. Yeah. They're all about 6'5", 6'6". And this kid is, I went and watched a game or two. He's got all the ability in the world. He could be another first round pick in 2-3 years.
Wow.
They're already looking at him. The scouts are already calling him. Sign me up. You know, want to sign him up. So it's, you know, they're still athletes out there playing baseball. And that's all he wants to play. He could play basketball just as easy. His grandfather and his father, that's what they did.
Yeah.
But he loves baseball. And, you know, in today's world, if you concentrate on one sport,
that's true. Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Get good in one sport.
Does your boy play anything other than football now?
No.
That's good. No. Yeah.
But this is his first sport. He's usually a musician. He plays bass, guitar, piano, trombone.
How does his mom feel about playing football?
We're excited about it, to be honest.
That's great.
Because, like I said, he wanted it. Like, we never pushed.
Yeah.
So we're all excited because he's excited. Yeah. So yeah.
We'll be back with more of inside the track with that crazy Jim Quinn driving the car around the track, and we'll do much more. We got a lot of people coming up tonight, and we'll be here till 8 o'clock. So we'll be back in just a moment.
You're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Welcome back to Round South Jersey. Mayor Orndorf is in the other room. We are in the conference room because there's so many people in the Finish Line Pub, which is a great sign because lots of profits, half the profits go to the New Jersey Make-A-Wish Foundation. And of course, Mayor Orndorf is the celebrity bartender, and I did see Commissioner Ben Romanek here. And Nick, you were just talking about, you saw a whole table of the Republican
Yes, they're all out there. They're all supporting.
Yeah. And in the second half, Mike and I are going to get out by 7, and Nick's going to take over and interview And if there's any elected officials, they also will be able to come in and get interviewed, and any candidates and elected officials, they certainly want to be fair and will certainly interview them during the second hour from 7 to 8 o'clock. So stay with us. You'll find out what your candidates are all about, what they want to do, what they propose to do. And this is an interesting situation. Jimmy Sorrow. Do you know Jim?
know who he is. Yeah.
Anyway, Jimmy and I served. I should have brought the picture of us. We brought the 300 cat picture. We served 1 year together, and then he lost, or maybe he ran for assembly, didn't run, or whatever. But I was so impressed because I have no ability. I mean, at least I can call Mike and call you on the phone, Nick. That's about what I have to do. But Jimmy and I were co-chair of the Public Works Department, and we had a big problem with dikes out near Greenwich and Stowe Creek. So he and I go out there, and Jim goes, "Yeah, now this."
He's a plumber.
Yeah, I know. He knows all the stuff. I'm going, I don't know what he's talking about.
He's my plumber.
Thank you.
He was my plumber at home. So I had a problem calling Jimmy up.
And Jim's Jim does his own radio show on WVLT on Saturday mornings, and his wife is a sweetheart. She runs the CATS program, Sue Zorro. She runs the buses for the senior citizens. She just started that.
Well, I remember when we were looking for candidates back in 98, 99, and I called Jimmy up and said, because he's my plumber, I said, well, I always have plumbing problems.
Yeah.
And I asked him, how about your wife role? Because we were looking for female candidates. And she didn't want to run. He said, I'll run.
Okay.
And that was history. He jumped in. It was him, Hal Johnson, and Jeff Trout.
Yeah, right. The 1999, right? Yeah. And they swept, and I mean, they beat like Jennifer. Look at all the people that were. It was Jane Christie, Bruce Peterson. I don't know if it was Jennifer. Was it? I'm not sure who the third one was. I don't. May have been somebody different, but timing is important.
2 Millville candidates and a Vineland candidate.
We know it's interesting now.
And me and Gloria Neto, so it was a lot of Vineland votes, but Millville played an important part there.
Right now, what's interesting is there are no Millville County Commissioners. There won't be any this time around either. Nobody's running for Millville. Oh no, he's Vineland. So I mean, currently the County Commission Board has 5 Vinelanders, 1 from Bridgeton and 1 from Deerfield Township. So Vineland is heavily
circular. There were years when Millville dominated. Joe Dorella, Cerise.
Right. Yeah.
I think you had a 4th.
Well, Jeff Trout was there.
Jeff. I mean, so it kind of. Listen, you look at the county, the population base. Vineland is big. Millville second. Bridgeton third, and then the townships.
Yeah.
But Millville had a good run there for a while. Running the county, they actually were the leadership of the county for quite a long time.
But times change, and the red wave came through. And to Mike Testa's credit, he's certainly the chairman and the senator, but he's the chairman of the Republican Party, and it's been on the move, and doing very.
It's organization. I mean, organization's important. County elections, especially in smaller counties like Cumberland. So if you can get organized and get a good core of people that want to work, you can win elections. Because if the other side doesn't have that anymore, which seems to be the case,
it's the interesting thing talking about the 2-party system. Cape May County is like about 80% Republican. Nick, before we went on the air, was talking to the mayor of Cape May. I don't think there is an elected official that's a Democrat in Cape May anymore.
Him.
Oh, he's a Democrat? Oh, jeez.
The kid is I call him kid. His family owns Cape May National Golf Club, and they own the Chalfont, the restaurant.
What's his name?
Zach Mullock. His father, years ago, ran for Congress against Frank Orndorf. His father was Cape May Point mayor at one time. Just an old family down there. He's very can work with anybody. He's doing a lot of good things there. He's built a brand new firehouse, going to build a new police station. And most importantly, we're working with him to try to build a whole new desalinization plant.
Oh, that's right.
They were the first one in the country to have a desal plant back in 1996, and now that has gotten old, right? 25 years old. And we have to replace it. It's a big number, and we've been piecing together funding and grants and all that in the last 6-8 months. And so,
Well, Cape May County, Cape May is a beautiful city. You go to Cape May City?
I worked in Cape May Courthouse for a while, so yeah.
Cape May County, this is, speaking of different things in Cape May County, I always said my dream when I come back, the next life was to be the mayor of Avalon. They had all the ratables in the world, beautiful community. But Barbara Morrow is a good friend of mine. Her brother is now the mayor of Avalon, Johnny Morrow.
Marty Kalugia Vineland.
Yes, he was.
He moved down there years ago and became mayor. I guess he was mayor for 25, 30 years. He finally had enough. He did his job. But he also has a real important job in the county as the emergency manager.
That's right,
director. So that's a big job in itself. And I think, being mayor also, it's time to give it up to somebody else. Beautiful town.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. They're all beautiful.
That's what I was going to say. Ocean City, I had a house in Sea Isle for 30 years.
There's no bad towns down there.
No,
they're all great communities. Even the ones, like Lower Township, Dennis Township, Upper Township, they're right off the shoreline. It's great places for people to live, young families, and then they can get to the beach real quick or get to the boardwalks. Where does your family like to go? You go to the shore.
The boardwalk right now with the kids' ages. Ocean City. My dad lives in Ocean City. So.
Oh, that's right around that. Ocean City is a beautiful community. It really is. And Wildwood, a friend of mine, Joe Pepitone, has a house in Wildwood. So occasionally I've gone down there, and it's getting better. It's not the place that I always went. Usually Ocean City and then Sea Isle. Had a house there.
Wildwood was in line to be Casino City.
No kidding.
I did all, when I got in office, I did my research because I got in office and I started meeting with the Wildwood motel and hotel owners, and they were down and out. And the old convention center they had there was, I don't know how old, 30, 40 years old. They needed a bigger facility to encourage conventions to come down. So we embarked, and once again I asked what happened. Now, in the 70s, you remember Wildwood was the place to go. Atlantic City was dead.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Dead.
Yeah.
So Wildwood, the Parkway had the road, and the city had the road too. They had the expressway. So it was a battle. Who's going to get the jurisdiction, Atlantic City or Wildwood? So you had two state senators then, Steve Persky in Atlantic City, and Jimmy Cafaro in Cape May County in Wildwood. And they were both kind of angling, and Persky won out and got Atlantic City on the ballot instead of Wildwood. Otherwise, Wildwood would have been Casino City.
That's neat.
And then later on, in the 90s, mid-90s, late 90s, the mayor then was Fred Wager, and he got an Indian tribe to come to Wildwood and proclaim that they had Indian rights to build a casino, right? And he went all the way to the end of the process, and all they wanted was one Indian casino. And it came down to the governor of the state of New Jersey had to grant the right to do it, and Christie Whitman wouldn't do it.
Oh, I see.
Pressure from the Atlantic City legislators and people like Trump, and there's people up there don't need a gaming facility down there that's owned by the Indian nation because that will grow even more. We should probably have one here. The Lenny Lenape.
That's right. Weren't they in Fairfield Township?
Right, Fairfield Township. So there's a lot of history down there too.
I didn't realize.
Wildwood was a great town back in the 70s, just like it is. Atlantic City is today.
Yeah, the casinos have certainly helped a lot. We're talking with Mike Toscano and our former state senator Nick Caselda. We'll be back with more, and don't forget, hour 2. Nick's going to be talking with all of the candidates and the elected officials that are here, so don't you dare go away. We'll be back in a moment.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find him. That's by personal experience with him. Come visit us this Sunday. we can introduce you to him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
You're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
Jimmy,
Welcome back to, yes, we're talking about the next hour. Jim Sorrow, who is running for Cumberland County Commissioner, and it went from being a freeholder to a county commissioner. And the interesting thing was, New Jersey was the only state in the nation that had freeholders, and freeholders were white men who were property owners in England. And I remember being at a South Jersey freeholder meeting, and John Young from Camden County said, I don't qualify. And then one of the women from Atlantic County said, I don't qualify under the terms of what freeholder says. So to the state's credit, they eventually joined all the other counties now, and everybody is a county commissioner. But it's
I didn't know we were the last state that still had that type.
As far as I know
the states around us.
Louisiana had parish
Give another name.
Parish men or women or something like that, I believe. But yeah, mostly every other state. There was no freeholder state other than the state of New Jersey, so it made it interesting to do. But yeah. So Michael, how's the insurance business? Busy?
It's a little bit busy.
So you guys have really expanded. I see you everywhere.
Meaning
in Cumberland County.
Yeah. Well, we're everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
You know, we believe in the community. You know.
Yeah, you do. You guys give back to the community and always help out anytime you can. And I mean, it's just everywhere. Yeah, to your credit, Bob's credit, the whole staff's credit. Of course, you know, I love dealing with Vince Insurance. The nice thing is you can get quotes, 3 quotes for every policy, so that you know you're getting the best price possible. And that's what you guys work on.
I mean, the main thing that's going on with insurance right now is a lot of the companies are requesting rate increases. If you haven't received the letter, you probably will. And it's all the insurance companies are going to the state to raise rates. And when you apply to the state to raise the rates, they have to send a letter to the customers letting them know on what they're applying for. So a lot of insurance companies are putting in for 25 to 30% raise to be able to raise the rates, and that's bothering a lot of people. Good thing about Mint's Insurance is we have 17 to 18 carriers that we could shop your insurance through. So, you know, if one of our companies raises your rate 20%, we're able to go to another one of our companies and hopefully save you money, even on the first premium without the rate increase. So a lot of that's our big advantage over other insurance companies, to where they'd only have 1 or 2 to offer you, and we have about 17,
Well,
business or personal.
That's a good point, like, because Mintz is an independent insurance
We are an
agent.
independent.
You're not State Farm or, one where you only have the one company that you represent.
Right.
So you have 17 different companies? Is that
Yeah.
what you- Wow.
And the big difference between us and them would be we are customer based. They are corporate based.
Yeah.
So your State Farms, your Allstates, they have to do what's best for the company. Our responsibility is for the customer. So a little different, but the big difference, we have tons of markets, tons of places to go.
Well, I think about it, in Millville, there may be, well, I guess there are maybe one or two other insurance agencies, but I don't know them to speak of, and they're not out in the community, and that's the thing that I've admired.
And it's one of my big things on why I like Bob a lot, but the big thing about Bob is that he is keeping the business in Millville.
Yes.
Being the manager, I get to see offers, the constant solicitation of Bob to sell. A lot of the insurance agency owners are a little bit older in age and have been in the business 34, 40 years. And sometimes they don't have a kid to pass it off to.
Yeah.
And then those are the insurance companies that are being sold.
Yeah.
And Bob's got his 2 sons, and we have a younger staff. So we're prepared to keep going.
Yeah.
And we have a feeling that when these littler companies are getting bought by bigger companies, there's going to be a customer service fallout where we're huge potential for us.
Well, you got great customer service. I've got one, Melissa takes care of my commercial end of it, and Lily takes care of my personal insurance. And, it is great. It really is to have an insurance and to know the people and to know that they're part of the community.
Right. We have 15 employees that are all live in Cumberland County.
Which is great.
But
good
it's
job.
a local company with local employees, which I feel is a big thing we all have to get behind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and believe me, folks, they are fantastic. And again, I can't thank them enough for their not only sponsorship with us, for football games, for any of the good things, the 4th of July celebration. Sure, Jim, we'll sponsor it. We had lots of people watch the fireworks, I'll say that, on the 4th of July.
Might have been, was it Zach? Did I say his name? The country singer?
Oh, that's right, Zach Westcott. Yeah, he's very popular.
Wow, he put on a good show. Yeah. We were out on the kayaks in the lake, and fireworks go over our heads. So it was a great time.
Yeah.
The cities they're really doing well on their events.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to the National Night Out.
That's coming up right August 1st, I think.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So that's good things that are happening.
Kudos to Sam Cruz. She's amazing.
Isn't she?
The city of Millville is very lucky to have her.
I was talking to a friend who's a senior citizen, and she goes to the senior center. I said, who runs the senior center now? Sam Cruz. I said, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, she's the assistant to the mayor. She runs the public works department, or property, parks and property, and that type stuff. And she runs the senior center. Lady's got lots of energy and does a good job. And she's the assistant to the mayor. So, yeah, that's good. And again, she's just like Mintz agency. It's good because of you and because of all the staff that is there, works with you, makes it really nice.
Jim, I just want to get back to Millville baseball. I came up with the name Marcellus Preston. Remember that name in the future.
Okay.
Freshman baseball player for Millville.
Okay.
I think he hit 700 this year on the freshman team.
Wow.
Partly on the varsity. The next Mike Trout.
No kidding.
I'm telling you.
Well, we did Millville baseball.
As long as he stays on the course, and that the grandfather and the father keep him on the right course, this kid has got the potential.
Does he pitch? Is he just about?
He does everything.
No kidding.
Infield, every spot in the infield.
Wow.
He's got 6'2" already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It seems like the pitchers are tall nowadays.
They're the ones who get the big money in the draft. So.
Did you see the All-Star game?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. It was a shame Mike couldn't play. Now, I know what you mean.
Why couldn't he play?
He broke his wrist. He's out.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I actually had reserved a suite, which I did last year. And thank God when that happened, I called my Phillies guy. I said, I can't do it this week. 75 people last year went. you're not going to get 75 people to go this year without Mike there. I said, we'll pass till next year.
How do you break it?
Swing. Yeah. Something with a bat handle.
I wish I knew more, but like supposedly he was going to an axe handle.
Yeah.
There was a different handle now that supposedly he's getting switched to.
Yeah. And it came around and, he swung so hard that it'll be out 6 to 8 weeks, and they're coming in the end of August. So we're like, okay, not sure that's going to work.
A lot more tickets available now.
That's for sure. Yeah. Oh, I want to say though, as we're speaking about that, the Levoy Theater has tickets available. They're reasonable, at $26 a person, and I think $6 or $8 for those tickets that are sold comes back to the Levoy, which is a nonprofit, which I know Bob Connor loves as well. So
he's there tonight.
That's right, exactly. He was going to come in, but he's there tonight to see the concert. So
Joe Pierce.
Yeah, I was just talking to Joe today. Young Joe Pierce. It was the key to the Levoy.
He was the driving force.
Yeah, I remember they came to me and I said, "You guys are crazy. You could think about doing this." What a tremendous job! Beautiful facility. Well, Amazing Kreskin said one night when he was there and I was watching him that this was one of the nicest facilities that he's been in.
It's a performing. It really wasn't a movie theater.
No,
it was a performing theater.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Landis was built for movies.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't really a performing stage or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to take a break, and Mike and I are going to go have a drink, and that will contribute to the monies towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's what's happening tonight here at the New Jersey Motorsports Park. And Nick's going to put on his senator hat, and he's going to have lots of people that we're going to send in for him to talk with. And so stay with us. You'll get to learn about the people that are running for office. And if I find any elected officials, I'll send them in as well. And we hope you'll stay with us here on the Inside Track. So we'll be back. Nick will be back in just a minute.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to there is really a God. We try to find Him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find Him. That's by personal experience with Him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to Him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find him. That's by personal experience with him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
Hi, welcome back to Inside Track. This is Nick Caselta, not Jim Quinn, not in a race car, and I'm taking over for Jim. He's out in the event right now, and I'm going to interview some of the candidates in this year's 2023 election. 2 constitutional candidates. One's running for surrogate, one's running for sheriff. I'm going to start with the sheriff candidate, Mike Donato. Mike, welcome.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you having me on.
So I think what we want to do is just familiarize yourself with the viewership, your history a little bit, your law enforcement history, and what you see that can you offer the sheriff's office.
Right. So, I mean, as you know, Nick, I retired in March of 20, right before COVID struck, as a lieutenant with the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. After 25 and a half years of service here in the county, I started out as a sheriff's officer back in the mid-90s in 94, and I actually worked at the county jail for about a year. That's when it was under the sheriff at the time back then, and then spent some time, a couple of years at the courthouse and some other assignments. In 98, I left the sheriff's department, took a job with the Bridgeton Police Department, where I was on patrol, and up in the detective bureau for about 7 years, and ultimately going out to the prosecutor's office in 2005. I had a great career at the prosecutor's office. I was very fortunate enough to get promoted from sergeant to lieutenant before retiring. Worked in and supervised the major crimes unit and the county drug task force for many years while I was there.
It kept you busy, I guess.
It was very busy. Unfortunately, it was very busy. And I say that because I spent many years there and seen a lot of stuff that went on in this county, and it's very unfortunate. And, you know, in my spare time, I live in Cedarville with my family, 4 kids, obviously my wife, been married for 26 years. And another thing that I'm very proud of is my 35th year as a volunteer fireman in Cedarville. So I've spent quite a few years in the county as a whole, as a first responder from the law enforcement end and firefighter, being a fireman down there. And I'm excited about being able to get involved in the politics. And as you know, I tried in 20, it didn't work, but I stuck with it, and I just want to keep going with it. I don't want to stop my first responder stuff.
Building momentum, building friendships in 2020. I remember that race really well. A lot of hard work.
Yes.
But remember, the incumbent always has an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been there for, what, 3 terms, 4 terms?
No, actually it's 5. This
terms.
is his fifth term.
15
going
years.
in, yeah.
15 years. So he has, you know, firmly established.
Sure, absolutely.
It's harder to knock a person out of that seat. It just takes more work. You got to outwork the guy.
You got to work hard, and since since March we've been doing that. We hit the ground running as a nice. We have a great team that was put together, and I'm excited about working with all of them, and looking forward to the end of the race.
Mike, way back, and I remember. You go back way back, but the sheriff's office had control of the jail, for a lot of years, and that changed when I believe Jim Fortunato came in, right?
Actually, when I first started in '94, the county jail was under the sheriff, so I was hired under the sheriff, under the jail division. Just before I moved, they had split up into 2 divisions. It was enforcement, which was the courthouse and warrants and so forth, and then the jail division. Just before I left, when I left the jail, about a month or 2 months later, it had to have been sometime mid-'95, maybe the summer of '95, is when Sheriff Fortunato was still in, and they took the jail and made it under a warden.
I guess the jury's out whether that was a good move or not, and whether we want to consider, we being you and the Republican Party, want to reconsider changing that and taking that back. And you can't do it unless you win.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
So it's obviously an option down the road here.
And
might be looked at seriously this time around.
And honestly, from the time that I worked it back in '94, it's a big difference in what is actually there now, with the number of inmates and number of officers that are involved with the day-to-day operation there. So,
and of course, as the commissioners, the county commissioners, continue to debate the jail situation, what to do with inmates, whether to continue to farm them out to other counties or build their own jail, and I know that's still percolating.
Sure.
They haven't made a firm decision on that yet. So that would affect you, obviously.
Absolutely.
Possibly put you in a position to have to maybe hire more sheriff's officers.
Sure.
Right.
And that's you know, that's a struggle in and of itself with just law enforcement as a whole at this point. You know, there's every agency throughout this county struggling to get people.
Just to get people.
And, and it's a shame. It's one of the best professions out there.
Way back in the '90s, I remember when Southwoods broke ground, and then before they cut the ribbon to open, they had classes of hundreds of new recruits.
Yep.
That everybody wanted to be at Southwoods.
Yep.
Or, South State or Southwoods or Bayside. That has now gone by the wayside, I guess.
Oh, absolutely it has. I mean, you know, my understanding of it is, you know, they're canceling classes because they're getting 10 or 15 cadets in there, and it's kind of crazy.
The pay structure there is pretty good.
Yeah, for around here and to get started and earn a career and get started with, with your pension and so forth, it's phenomenal. But people just don't want to do it.
Some of those corrections people move on to municipal government.
Absolutely.
So how's it look? How's it when you get out there and meet people, events like this, talk to people? What's the feeling out there?
I mean, I think we're doing very well. We've been hitting the ground running. We're knocking on doors already. We're going to events. We're hosting events. Very well attended. I mean, we're getting nothing but positive feedback. But I mean, listen, I can't tell you, but we've got to keep that momentum going and get them, and then get them out to vote.
And
I mean,
is national politics playing a role in this? I mean, do you see that when you talk to people? Are they complaining about what's happening in Washington to you?
There's a few people that we have run into, and I have run into personally, that talk about the national level. But a lot of them are concerned and excited about what's been going on here in the county the past couple of years with the Republicans winning elections. So we're hoping, and myself and Skip and Art and Sandy and Jimmy Sorrow, I mean, we're working hard to keep that momentum going. And I think so far it looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the surrogate.
Hello,
Mr. Luisi.
Mr. Luisi.
So, background-wise, Rudy, Skip,
Scoop.
tell me a little bit about how you got in that business, because the funeral home business has a real relationship to the surrogate's office for years with Harry Freitag. I think before that, was it? There was
Ben Rocat.
Ben Rocat, right?
Yeah,
so it's always kind of been a funeral director's spot.
Right.
Doug Grenier kind of broke that string as an educator. He's a retired educator. So now he is not running, and has stepped down, and they have a candidate running against you, but not with funeral director experience.
Right, that's
and
correct.
I think that's valuable, knowing how to handle those situations. And tell me a little bit about how you developed into that business, the funeral business.
You know my family very well, and my father was a paid fireman. And years ago, I went to a friend of mine's funeral, and I thought it was something interesting. So my father said, "Look, if you want to get into this, I can, we can do it." So I started working when I was in high school. I used to ride my bicycle to work, and later on, I was in college. I didn't do too well with my first year of college, coming out of Sacred Heart High School.
I don't think anybody did well the first year of college. In those years,
so I had to join the Army during the Vietnam War, and later the National Guard. I was a medic, and so when I came back, I said I got to do something with my life, and I started studying harder, and I ended up getting to Mortuary College. I got licensed in '71.
Where is that college?
Mine was in New York City.
In New York
City. Now they have it in Mercer Community College, and the program is it was crowded for many years. Now it's down a little bit, because like most people are getting into the trade. It's mostly people who own funeral homes, their children are getting into the trade.
Yeah.
But and then I got licensed. Joe DeMarco gave me an opportunity to own my own funeral home, and Regina and I we got into it, and now we have our new funeral home on Sherman and Lincoln.
Beautiful facility.
Thank you. But
you used to be my neighbor on Landis Avenue.
That's correct. State and Landis with the old place.
Yeah.
But I'm a lifelong resident of Vinyl, lifelong resident of Cumberland County. I've been involved with a lot of things. I was public safety director. I'm on the zoning board.
Campanella administration.
I was Campy's campaign chairman.
What a great guy.
Yes, he was one of the best, and he won, and that was interesting during those years.
Mm-hmm.
But and then a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, Mike came to me and asked me if I wanted to run for surrogate. And at that time, Regina was really sick, and I said, I didn't want to run, and I wanted to have all the time I could have with Regina. And of course, since then, Regina passed away, and so that's a part of the reason why I'm running for surrogate. Not only that I'm a funeral director for over 50 years, my life experiences with the loss of Danielle, and you remember those days, and Regina, my life experience and professionalism. I really
identify with people that walk in your door and have a tragic thing happen.
And I know what they're talking about. I can bring that compassion back to the surrogate.
Right.
The ladies that are working in a surrogate office are doing a great job under the conditions that they have. They're closed.
Were you able to go in there and talk? I know it's hard to get in that.
You can't get in the door.
I don't think you get in the door.
You can't get in the door.
That's gotta change. I mean,
I have one of our people.
COVID's over. I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, I had one lady call me. Her husband died back in the end of January, and we had the funeral. And she was a young wife, and her husband did all the banking, did everything like that. And she went to the surrogate's office, and she had to put her personal papers and everything in a box at security, and they would notify you in about 3 or 4 days. Well, it took 4 months for the surrogate to get the short forms to her. And in the meantime, she had to fight to pay the mortgage. She had to, pay and take care of the kids. So, there's something wrong there, and I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping to be able. I know we're going to change it. Another one of my goals is to make the surrogate office more accessible. Instead of just being in Bridgeton, I want to do like Harry Freitag did. I want to go to different areas in the townships and all. Once a month, hook up with the mayors and say, can I come to your senior center? And anybody in that area wants to come in and talk about the surrogate and work with us. And
please don't go to the mall.
No.
Don't put an office in the
No, the mall's already got the what you call it, the county clerk has. She's in there.
I know originally it was a good idea because there was activity, but I don't know how much activity there is in that mall anymore.
And then,
How about a mobile?
Mobile in it would be smart. Going online on the internet, having people have access that way to email back and forth the information. We have to check the capability of being, closed on that. But there's a lot we can do. So right now, I want to go out to them, go to their homes, whatever they want us to do. The surrogates is also involved with adoptions and custody disputes through the Superior Court of Cumberland County. And once again, the surrogate makes all applications to those for the people. They're months behind, 7, 8 months behind. And it's not the girl's fault that work there, it's a system. They're paper. They do it all by paper, and we got to get paperless to do something like that. So we can get through all that red tape, you want to call it. So, once again, I don't know the job until I get there. I know when I get there, it's going to take at least a year to figure out exactly where we're going to go. But they have great people working there. They're dedicated. All we got to do is just get back in there and help them and support them. Because, Doug's been sick.
Is there enough personnel in there currently, you think?
I don't think so. I think we're going to have to beef it up a little bit and do some training. One of the lead people that was there that did all the submissions for the surrogate court passed away a week or so ago, I heard. So that's going to be a big thing. But I'm excited that we're going to have a 7-0 Republican board of freeholders. We're going to be in there with Mike and myself. And I just think that the opportunity is now for the Republicans to take over and do what we have to do to straighten out the county. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of friends that are Democrats and everything like that, and I have no problem with Democrats. But
former partner,
yes, Joe DeMarco was the leader of the Democratic Party for years in Cumberland County. So but we got to straighten out the mess that's in there, and all about that.
The surrogate's office is all about service.
All service.
It's all about compassion and service.
Absolutely.
Making people handling their problems as quick as possible, because you mentioned it's all about getting people back on track with their lives financially.
That's right. And it's just sit down face to face, talk a little bit, and then let us solve your problems. And that's what the county stands for. We're here to help you. So let us solve your problems. And I hope to do that with the surrogate.
I am from the government. I'm here to help.
No, I'm from the surrogate's office, but I'm a funeral director. Yeah, I'm a funeral director, and I've been doing it for many, many years.
I'm here as a funeral director.
As a funeral director to talk to you. So I know how to talk to them. I know what they experience. Personal life, I know what they experience. And I know the situations that they're facing, a lot of young people today. And so God willing, I'm going to win. And
how did your family ever get here?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. There was this old little Italian guy on Cherry Street named Di Pasquale, and he brought my grandfather over when he was 14 years old. And my grandfather came to New York, and then he came to Newfield and Violent. He met my grandmother. It's Nick Caselta's grandpa. Great-grandpa that brought us over, and my grandfather and him were legends of characters on Cherry Street, and we were all raised on Cherry Street. That was our Italian heritage.
That was the Little Italy back in the day.
Yes, it was, and it was a great. I'm very, very proud of our Italian heritage, and I'm very proud to be an American. And I believe in the flag. I believe in Old Glory. I believe in everything that it stands for. And I'm really proud to be able to run for surrogate, bring this out. But once again, being Italian and growing up in a very close-knit community, and then family, which you're my cousin. Family, it means a lot to me. And this closeness and caring, I want to bring to the surrogate's office.
You'll do a wonderful job.
I hope so.
Job. Are we ready for a break? Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you.
Good job.
Always.
Good job.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
You're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find him. That's by personal experience with him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
Hey, hello everybody. Inside track, Nick Caselta replacing Jim Quinn for a little bit of time here. I'm not in the race car like Jim. He has the great graphics. It's just me, but I'm here with some important people that you need to know about in our county. They're running for office in Cumberland County this year. We have Art Marchand Jr. and Kathy Taylor. So,
Sandy Taylor.
Sandy Taylor. Sorry, I always called you Kathy. Thanks. Sandy, let's begin with you. All right.
Well, thanks for having us tonight. I do want to mention that we're at the Finish Line Pub and we're here supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you have the chance, come out tonight. It's a great event. Currently, I am running for Cumberland County Commissioner. I am a lifelong Cumberland County resident. I grew up in Newport, which is a part of Down Township. I attended Bridgeton High School, graduated from Bridgeton High School, I should say. So I'm a Bulldog and Thunderbolt territory. But
so Kathy, you ran Sandy. Sandy, you ran before.
I did.
And I remember it had to have been 10 years ago, maybe, or
2011.
2011. Okay, 12 years ago. And that race was, who did you run with and who did you run against?
So we ran with Billy Gonzalez, Jody Farabella, Mike Baruzza was the top of the ticket.
The sheriff candidate,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And Cumberland County Republicans were in a transition mode then, trying to transition from a lot of success in the early 2000s to a down period, and people like you and those people, other candidates, began to bring them out, right? See, and that's what I think people need to understand, that this stuff just doesn't happen overnight, that all of a sudden Republicans get elected. There's a building process that takes place. There are people that you're standing on their shoulders and working with their reputation to get to where we are today with a 4-3 board, and hopefully we win 3 more seats. You have a banking background, right?
I have 40 plus years in banking. My husband and I, we own a business in Vineland. We went in business 10 years ago. We just had our 10th anniversary in April. We own a sheet metal union fabrication shop. So it's 2569 North Delsey Drive, right down from Don Darrow's Jewelers. So I'm very proud of that. So I have the business background along with the banking background. I feel, that would be instrumental to helping the board succeed and move the county forward. And that's our goal. We want to move Cumberland County forward and get off some of the bad lists, move the dial up a couple notches.
Well, it's always been a challenge. I just saw a story yesterday. 85 more acres have been taken away from our rateable base by the conservation group again. And we keep fighting that. Cumberland County has more preserved ground and land than any place in New Jersey. And now another 85 acres is taken off the rateable list. So to me, that's something that I think we have to pay more attention to and discourage conservation groups to come in here and think, well, yeah, you have the Morris River and you have all this beautiful, we'll preserve it all, yet it doesn't help us to raise our families and to create job opportunities for people in our county.
Well,
it makes them feel good because they live in Princeton and they live in Monmouth County in North Jersey. Makes them feel great.
Well, I'll tell you, I live in Down Township, so a large percentage of the township is in natural lands and trusts. So we struggle with our ratables down in that area. But with that being said, I do want to disclose I am a board member for Citizens United, and I am very proud of that. But there has to be a balance. Right. There has to be a balance, and we do need to bring jobs into the county, and that's something that we really have to.
I love the word balance because compromise, balance, that type of thing. I was heavily involved in the Holly Farm project 2 years ago. My client grows grass, grows sod for all the Major League Baseball, football stadiums in the Northeast, and he needed another 500 acres, 1,000 acres to grow more grass to satisfy the Phillies and the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates, because all those artificial turf stadiums now are going back to grass.
Right.
He found that soil there was perfect for growing sod. Grass, the old Holly Farm on Route 49. So we began to negotiate with Atlantic City Electric, who owned it, and we put our bid in. And a solar farm put a bid in, and then the state DEP comes in and preserves it, and kind of took it off the tax rolls. And we were willing to give them half. We would pay for the entire property and give them half of the property, donate it to you. And the building, I don't know if you've ever been out there, Sandy. The building,
I'm sure I have.
there's a building out there. We were going to rehab the building and have environmental groups come out there, and you can hold all your meetings out there. But there was no compromise or balance with anybody, and we were growing grass.
Yeah.
So they're the kind of balance that I like to see. We're not going to, put an oil well out there.
No, I agree with you on that.
So it's good that you brought that up. That I think you can be part of an organization like that, but still have the understanding that balance is needed in any organization. I'm on the Pinelands Commission, and I have to use balancing acts all the time. I want to preserve too, but I also want to allow people to develop in a responsible way.
Well, we need jobs.
We need jobs.
We need
opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, all right, let's go to Art here. Let's talk about you, and let's talk about your legacy, your history with your dad. I've known a long time from the very beginning.
Well, I think most people, yes, knew my father. My father was involved in politics for quite a long time, and he always put people first. He always wanted to be involved and to help people and to do things. And I think that's something that growing up is something obviously I learned from him, and that's why I'm here today. There's many years I've been very interested in getting more involved in running. Have a young family at home, and now they're just getting a little bit older, just getting a little bit old enough that dad can be out of the house, dad can go run around and do some of the things you need to do in order to make change, in order to get elected.
It's time. It's time you have to dedicate to running for office.
That's true.
As Sandy knows.
That's a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Now, I put a lot of time in on the school board, so a lot of people that know me, I've been on a school board for 10 years now, so we put a lot of hard work on there. And
Is
now,
that Cumberland Regional?
Well, I was on the Hopewell Shiloh Board of Education for 9 years, and currently I sit on the Cumberland Regional High School Board of Education. So I have many years in that, and Cumberland County means so much to me. I've lived here my entire life. My dad's lived here his entire life. I want my family to be able to continue to stay here. I want my children to be able to raise their families, stay here, work in Cumberland County. And that's why I'm very interested in running.
Well, I love the legacy, and I love, your dad started out as an aide, I believe.
Correct. Shinichi.
Assemblyman Shinichi.
Yep.
And then was an educator for a while.
He was.
Right?
Yep.
And then worked his way at the county freeholder board.
Correct.
To being a county prosecutor.
Correct.
Yeah, I know his whole history.
Yes.
Being a judge.
County surrogate too. Let's not forget that one, right?
Yeah. So
he's been all over the map.
It's called experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know he's very proud of you, very proud, and he's going to do his best to help you through this. I had a similar thing with my dad, helped me as he got older, but he did what he could. Your dad's a lot younger.
I got you.
He's got a lot more energy right now.
Right.
So both of you, let's say you get elected, the board now is, and probably Mr. Sorrow gets elected, he's been elected before, you're going to be 7-0. And 7-0 means you got total control, which sometimes that means you get all the credit, but you get all the blame too.
That's true.
All the bad stuff and all the good stuff. So it's going to be a lot harder than it is currently at 4-3, because you can't, at some point in time, you can't blame the other side. After a year or two of being in charge, like they do in Washington, they blame the past president for the last 4 years. They milk that until the cows come home. So issues that you're going to have to tackle will be the jail, of course. That's still out there lingering. Economic development. What are you going to do to try to bring some major industry here, not just warehousing? We're turning into the warehouse county of the world, which, listen, I'm all for, but once again, warehouses don't create too many jobs. some forklift jobs, a few people in the office, that's about it. We need to get back to manufacturing products, and that's what we do good. I shouldn't be talking as much. You should be. Do you have any other ideas about, Sandy, about helping our economy get a little better? You want to kind of scrub the books. I know.
I do want to look at the. I do.
I can tell you just want to scrub the books right off the bat, right?
Well, that's kind of my forte.
Yeah.
But I think, when you put us all together as a team, we have a lot of good brainstorming ideas, and I don't want to sit here and discuss it because we're not in that position to make decisions yet. So I'm just going to hold back or defer to you.
Well, and I'll tell you, so right now we do have some great leadership on the board, as you know. Doug's got under control. They've been doing some great things in the 6 months that they've taken control over the board. And obviously, if we're elected, the one thing it buys us is time for us to have a Republican board for a few years and see what changes that we can make in Cumberland County. Because we all know things don't happen overnight. It's going to take some time to make some meaningful change here in Cumberland County. But with the crew that we already have there, with me, Sandy, and Jim, I think Cumberland County's future is looking very bright.
Very good. Anything more to add? I think we're going to break for a commercial. Sandy, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate the opportunity.
Always great to see you.
Always, Nick. Appreciate it so much.
All right.
You're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find him. That's by personal experience with him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
you're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Inside Track with Jim Quinn. Jim has taken a little bit of break, and I'm Nick Caselta, and I'm filling in for a while. And I have a very interesting guest here, a guy that I've known a long time. He was my own personal plumber in my home, and we've known each other since way back in the 90s when we talked about running for office together, and we did. So Jim Soros here has his own radio show. You still have that show?
No, we closed it 2018. It was 18 years I was on the radio.
On the radio.
Straight talk.
Years. Straight talk. So every Saturday, right?
It was every Saturday from 8 to 10.
Yeah. So Jim's familiar with communicating with constituents and having phone calls come in all the time. And
yeah, it was interesting. It was a call-in show, and there was no time delay, so it was.
Yeah.
You had to be on your toes.
On your toes.
Yes.
So Jim, let's talk about, because I want to go way back, to the beginning. What got you interested in this? Your history and your profession, and how it kind of grew into public office, and you being elected way back in '99, and being the director back then, and then getting out and getting back in right now, and why, and all those questions. So start back.
Well, you're going back all the way to 1984. I would, of course, I did the plumbing. We did plumbing for 50 years. Back in
business.
Right. Water treatment.
Business.
Okay.
Right on the corner of.
Just off the corner of Delsey and Oak Road. That's where we had our shop. But in 1984, I was very, very involved with the New Jersey State League of Master Plumbers.
And that's a group of plumbers around the state,
yes,
that have their own company, and a lot of small businesses, right?
Most of them were very small businesses, okay? And what we did was, there was a committee. It was called the Legislative and Code Committee. And they elected me to be the chairman of that committee. Now, what that committee did, it was my responsibility to go to Trenton 2 to 3 times a month and to speak with the members of Assembly, members of the Senate. Every bill that was introduced, we had a lobbyist. His name was Russell Bent at the time. And he would pick out things that had to do with businesses, not just plumbing and heating, but businesses also. So we would go in and testify before committees, and we would work the minority room and the majority room to try to get bills passed or defeated. I mean, sometimes it's very more important to defeat a bad bill.
That's bad.
Exactly. Right. So that's what got me involved, and I was the chairman for, over 10 years, 12, 13 years. I was the chairman of that committee, and that kind of got me rolling. And then, of course, you remember when Lobiando was in the Assembly. Well, yes. We were working on legislation with him and Jimmy Cafiro. Of course.
The late 80s.
Yes. And then you came along, and then we started working a lot with you with legislation, along with Jack Gibson. So I've been very involved with government. And then, of course, you did an end around on me. You went to Sue, my wife, and said, "Do you think Jim would run for freeholder?" And she went, "Oh yeah, sure."
I think I knew her from the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So
we were in that mode of Larry Pepper, the chairman, where we're recruiting new young talent, people in the community that had families, had businesses, and you were targeted for sure.
So I remember you asking me, and it was very interesting at the time. I had no idea what a freeholder was.
Right.
And I had to do a lot of research to find out what it was. And ran in '98, and I lost with Laura Pizzo.
Right.
I don't know if you remember, Laura Pizzo was the only Republican on the board at the time. When she lost, the board went 7-0.
7-0.
Democrat. Well, what's interesting in all this scenario, 25 years later, almost to the day, the board will go 7-0 Republican. Yes,
and then you ran a campaign in '99. Say no to 7-0. So expect that coming back at you.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be proud of that. I'll really be proud of that. That's good.
It's funny how things come around and repeat themselves in different ways.
But it was an interesting ride, and then after I became a freeholder, in '02 I became the freeholder director. Now, when I became the director, we were looking at a major deficit, number of millions of dollars that we were missing.
What happened there? Why did they dig themselves a hole? Doug Fisher was the director then?
Lou Magazoo was the director at the time. But there was a major deficit, according to our VA at the time, and they told us, and they expected me to raise taxes. Well, what we did as conservative Republicans, we cut spending. And here's what I found out. You can cut spending, and you'll still have all your pens and pencils and everything you need to run government. And not only that, we had an unprecedented UAW contract, and we ended the year with an $800,000 surplus. Now, that's called watching what you spend, and that's what we did. We did not raise taxes. Then, if you remember, Carl Kirstein became director in, I think, 2012. He didn't raise taxes. This year, the Republicans took over again, and Doug Albrecht is the director. They call them county commissioners now, and they didn't raise taxes again. So there's a running theme there. It seems like when you get a Republican in, you're not raising taxes, and you cut spending. And I always said, they were in charge for over 40 years. And I tell people, if you give us 10 years, we'll change everything. We'll change everything. So that's what I'm very excited about. I really can't wait to get back on the board, because what happened was, I think it was in, let's see, I think it was 2010. They asked me to run for an unexpired term. Democrats are having a little problems with some freeholders that they had to resign, and I won that election, and then I ran again the very next year, and I won a full term. Then what I did was I decided to run for assembly. Well, it happened to be the same time my freeholder seat was up,
and you had
so
to choose one or the other.
So I tried the assembly. Didn't work out, but I kind of took a hiatus, sit back and, look at things. And then this year, I was asked again.
Stayed with your radio show.
Oh, yeah, stayed with the radio show.
With people. Right, stayed in communication with voters by doing that.
I kept abreast of all that was going on with the county and the issues. Then this year, they asked me to run again. And I just, one of the things, Nick, and I know it's in your heart also, you want to go there and you want to do the job, and you want to do the job right. I am really tired of people that laugh at Cumberland County. We were always last at everything. 21 out of 21. No, I don't want that. Now this year, you think about it, doesn't sound like much, but in 6 months, we went from 21st to 20.
Who'd you surpass?
I don't know.
Sussex County?
But all I know is that
Salem or
we
Sussex?
became 20th.
Yeah.
And a person said to me, well, that's not a big jump in 6 months. That's a hell of a jump in 6 months. Because all the years that they were in charge, we were 21st. That is going to stop. I'm telling you that right now. This is going to stop. We're going to move forward. Economic development is what's important in this county. Now, right now, I work in Washington Township, 17 miles away from my shop in Vineland. All right? We do 2,500 permits a year. Why? They're on Route 55.
All application fees.
Yes.
Right.
We're on 55. Our county's on 55. Why aren't we getting it? It's time to go after this stuff, okay? And I don't think they were. They gave us lip service.
The funny thing in the history of Washington Township was in the 80s when Tom King built Route 55, right? There were developers that were knocking on the mayor's door then, who was Pat Fiorelli.
Yes.
And he kicked them out of their office because South Philly wanted to come over into Jersey. And so basically, all those South Philly families that were all good middle class families, all ended up in Washington Township.
You're right.
And instead of being in Vineland, they could have made Vineland a juggernaut with 100. We would have 100,000 population right now with families that all had jobs somewhere in the Philadelphia region. But there's an example of bad leadership. A mayor that only cared about eggplants and dandelion. That's all he cared about promoting our town as.
Really is.
But you brought that up. I was there. I remember what happened there. And he just didn't want to turn Vineland over to developers. Well, you had control. We have planning and zoning boards.
Yes.
We can control the growth. We had the land, 68 square miles, sitting on Route 55. So we missed that opportunity.
Yes,
Washington Township got it.
You have no idea the building that they're doing in Washington Township. I mean, they just got done putting 2 assistant living.
Because those people that moved there in the 80s now are old.
They're old.
They need that service.
So they had that. They just put a 7-story addition onto the hospital. They just put a huge parking garage there. I know, don't get me wrong, we have a beautiful hospital here. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
And it serves our community unbelievably. But what I'm getting at is all the businesses that are going to Washington Township, and they could be coming here. So it's going to be our job to get them here. Now, one of the things that people don't realize, the other party paid for studies, $80,000, $100,000, $125,000 for these studies. And you know what they did?
Put it on the shelf.
They put it on the shelf. Do you know why? Because it requires work. You have to work at these studies to do, and they're very good studies. I read them. When I was on the board, I read 2 of them.
Right.
And I went to them and I said, where is it implementation strategy for this? They never read it. That's the difference between us and them. And that's, I think, is very
follow
important.
through.
Yes.
It's not just window dressing. Oh, we'll do a study and then quiet everybody like we're actually doing something to promote development. And all you're doing is you're creating a plan, but then you're not executing the plan.
Exactly.
And that's what
they would promise the world, and they've never delivered.
Right.
And it's time to. You know, I love the area I live in. I'm out in East Vineland right now. Okay, I wouldn't give that up for anything. I wouldn't give it up for Cumberland County. I mean, this county is beautiful. I mean, you think of all the different aspects we have. You know, we have the Western Shore. Why aren't we taking care of that? We're not.
Well, that needs to be nurtured even more, absolutely. But as I told Cindy Taylor, is that just recently, 2 days ago, 85 more acres got conserved by the Conservation League, New Jersey League of Conservation, took 85 more acres off of the tax rolls. These people are working every day in our county to preserve everything, and we're already we have the highest amount of acreage preserved in any other county in New Jersey.
Do you know it's over 80% in Marshall Township?
preserved. Yeah, well, that's my point. If you
No
look
tax
at a
money
map,
coming in from
you
that.
look at a map. So these people have been working overtime, and we have fell asleep at the wheel there. That's why my charge to the board is to turn that around and discourage these conservation groups from coming in here and eating away at our development. The Holly Farm in Millville.
That was a joke.
Mayor Quinn had a huge development, a senior development plan there. Hundreds of millions of dollars are rateable with a small little golf course. They totally.
It was a disgrace. That was a disgrace. What happened?
And then 2 years ago, I had Tuckahoe Turf, Sod and Turf, who supplies all the turf for Major League Baseball and NFL football in the Northeast. Every stadium, they needed more room to grow grass. Right. They wanted to grow grass. And they fought us on that piece of the Holly Farm. We were just going to be a grass grower, sod grower. And they came in and they bought the thing right out from under our nose. And we had, I offered to have a meeting, say, all we need out of the 1,400 acres is 600 acres. You could have the rest. We'll pay for that and we'll donate it to the conservation people. We just need 500 or 600 acres to grow more sod and hire 60 people and put Millville on the map with every baseball and football stadium. All those general managers come down here to see their grass and get a tour all the time. All those things. But no, now if you go by there, I don't know if the mayor's been by there, it's just got a gate and it's locked. Done for prosperity. Right.
And it's a shame, it really is. So by the way, you brought up that with Millville and the mayor. Everybody, please. Right now, we're at the Motorsports Speed Park, and we would like to see you come out tonight. The mayor's there. She's bartending. Oh yeah, she is.
Can she mix a good drink? At this point?
From what I understand, she's doing a good job. And the money goes towards Make-A-Wish. So what I'm saying to you is, if you have a chance, come out tonight. This is something great. I mean, she's putting Millville on the map. All right. When one city in the county does well, we all do well. Yeah. So right now, tonight is Millville shining. Please come out.
What I like, I mean, Millville's always had good mayors, great mayors. Jim Quinn being one of them. I think Jim has influenced her to the point that she's being effective now, and she's a good representative of the city of Millville.
Yes, she is.
That's what you need. You need people to hand off. Doesn't matter political party, forget it. It's for the good of Millville.
Yes.
Everything's good. And I think tonight is a great example of the city has come out. I don't know how many people are out in that
the parking lot
area. The parking lot's full. And
right.
Here we are tonight.
But we always have room.
Yeah.
We always have room. So we need you to come out here and help the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Right.
But anyway, I'm proud of Cumberland County. The people fight hard and work hard in Cumberland County. It's time for these people to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And they vote us in, and they're going to see a difference. They really will.
I believe that, too. And for the audience, Jim has already been a leader in this county. So he has the experience and the knowledge to do it all over again. And that's what we need. A new group. If we're 7-0, we need experienced people on there, too. You're going to have new and fresh people on there.
Yes.
So you need a mix of experience and new people and new blood. And that's what the Republican Party is offering.
And don't second the four that are on there now are doing a fabulous job. They're doing a fabulous job. Mm-hmm. So between Doug Albrecht, who is the commissioner, the director, you have Victoria Lowe's, all right? You have Joe Cilio, and you have Tony Romero. They're doing a great job, but they need help. They really do. They're absorbing almost all the committees, and there's just too many committees. The other side is not doing
that.
They're not doing it. They're not
because they're quitting.
Right.
They're quitters. I mean, it's a shame because, when they were on top, these people ran and they won. Now when the going gets a little tougher,
they're bailing.
They decide to bail. And
yes.
Listen, I like those people as individuals, but if I was part of that organization, I wouldn't be happy with what's happening there.
But hey, that's going to give us a chance.
That's it. 7-0.
7-0. Say yes to 7-0.
Say yes, not no. Say yes to 7-0. All right, we'll wrap it up.
All right.
I guess Jim's going to come back and you're done? All right, so it's 8
Well done.
o'clock. We're wrapping up. Thank you again for tuning in. We had some great guests tonight. Jim Soros, Andy Taylor, Art Marchand Jr., Skip Louisi, and Mike Donato. So signing off here. Thank you again, and tune in next week.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find Him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find Him. That's by personal experience with Him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to Him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Advanced robotics. Experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
You're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and He's waiting to be your friend.
Hi, we're back at Inside Track with Jim Quinn. Obviously, Jim Quinn's out driving a race car out there somewhere on the track. And a guest here, Commissioner Ben Dominic, and we want to find out how we went so, Ben.
Right here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, Finish Line Park. It is, Nick, it's such a great event that Scott, GM of NJMP, is allowing the city of Millville and Mayor Lisa Orndorf to host her event here in conjunction with New Jersey Motorsports Park. I've heard, online donations were at $2,900. I graciously donated $100, bumped them up over $3,000 on the online donations. But I hear apparently we're up over $10,000. And that's 2 wishes.
And the Motorsports Park's been such a good partner with the community since it's been built. And the leadership here with Lee Graham and Brad Scott, and those type of people. I mean, that's what you need with your corporate companies that play a role in the community and help out. So Ben, you're commissioner.
Correct. My first time ever,
2 years ago.
Yes, second youngest ever elected in the city of Millville.
Now your name is synonymous with Millville sports.
I would say
I
a
played
little bit.
With and against your uncles. So legendary family in Millville sports, legendary family and contributions to the city of Millville. Your family should be very proud of you that you're carrying the torch in politics.
Yes, it's a very honoring position that I have right now in the city of Millville. I'm always gracious for, as I look back, a year and a half in on my second term, it's always benefiting the community, and that's my goal. But yeah, my grandfather served 4 terms, 16 years as city commissioner, and that baffles me because I'm on my first term, and 14 more years that I have I don't know what the future holds. But I love serving as a city commissioner here in the city of Millville, and just seeing the city grow. It's such a wonderful job, and especially interacting with the public. That's the greatest thing.
The city has assets. It has a river. It has an airport. It's not a small town. It's got rateable bases that can be utilized. So government is very important here that can make a real difference in moving it forward. And previous mayors have done that, and here we are today with the first female mayor in the history of Millville, and you helping her and joining her on that ticket. And it's a whole new generation of leadership here in Millville. And I think from what I've seen, I've been a couple businesses here already, and we're in the planning stages of doing something big out there, but it's because it's user-friendly.
Correct.
The town has to say, hey, we want to talk. We're open for business. Come and talk. Tell us what you need. And that's the key.
Correct. And I can highlight many aspects of Millville, but I want to focus right here where we're in the Millville Industrial Parks, at James R. Hurley Industrial Park, and here at the airport, Millville Executive Airport, and working with relationships with the DRBA. This is a great area to invite and develop business out here, especially in the aeronautical industry. And we're working towards to bring in more businesses and more companies out here at the out here at the airport.
On the airport, obviously, drone companies. There's all kinds of opportunities out there. So it's right now the event is super successful tonight. Whatever Millville does, they always do it perfect. Whether it's athletic events, whether it's an event like this event, whatever they do, they always do a great job at it with great leadership. So, what's your future? You're going to run again, I guess, as commissioner?
We'll see what the public wants. You never know what the public. 10 votes. Third place.
Yeah, so you have to stay.
But
Don't ever let them think you're not. Always be confident to say, hey, yeah, I'm in this. I'm in all the way.
The long haul.
The long haul. I'm a long hauler here. I love my town. I want to continue to serve. There's nothing but good things ahead here. Like I said, the assets are tremendous here.
Correct.
And then Route 55, you got an airport, you got a motorsports park, you got a river, you got Leroy Theater. All this stuff actually came, while he was here. A lot of the stuff. You're standing on, you guys are standing on his shoulders. And that's how it's supposed to be. You follow leadership and you keep building on it. I think that's what you guys are kind of doing.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't remember, but when you're on Sharp Street and High Street, or Sharp Street and High Street splits, and there's that great sign that says, Millville Incorporated 1802, and it's like embracing the future, not remembering the past and embracing the future, and that emphasizes what Millville is doing. Right now, we're trying to pick areas in the city and focus our time and efforts as a city commission to redevelop and re-energize that area. And it's fascinating to see and be in the process. And I understand very quickly in government that things don't happen overnight.
not like business. Business can get done quickly.
Correct, but
Government takes a whole lot of education to go in.
I believe sometime soon, actually, that Lavoni Meats will be having a groundbreaking ceremony out here at the Mobile Industrial Hurley Industrial Park. I believe that'll be happening pretty soon. That's the first ever Italian meat producer for their production facility.
You stole it from Vineland usually gets all the espresso and Venice made and endless green one.
Right here in Mobile.
You got it.
Yep. Good. They're a great group of individuals, and they're excited to go here in the city of Mobile. And that's all we want. Everything in the city of Mobile. You know, actually, for industrial-wise, Vineland's actually out of industrial public land. They got to buy land from the private owner.
Yeah.
And yet we have
You still have a lot of city and land.
Correct.
And the airport also, good wind around that airport.
But it's every day is a brand new day, and I'm happy and honored, always honored to work with the city of Mobile.
We're good. We're wrapping up. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. And Ben Romanek, City Commissioner, has given you a briefing on the Make-A-Wish Foundation, who's very successful here at the Motor Sports Park, raising a lot of money for a good cause. Good evening.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.